In today's video, you'll learn how to integrate Brevo with WordPress using MailOptin. And to begin, we'll need to set up our API key, so let's go ahead and do this right now. So we'll hover over our account name and we'll select SMTP and API. Then we'll go to API keys, and on the right hand side of the screen, we'll click on generate a new API key. I'll name this one MailOptin. Okay, let's click on generate. And now we'll have our API key, which we need to copy and paste in MailOptin settings. So I'll go to my WordPress tab, hover over MailOptin and click on integrations. And on the next page, you'll just need to find Brevo. We already have it selected, so I'm just going to go ahead and paste my API key and click on save changes. And just wait for it to save, and once it's done, you'll see additional settings that you can configure as well, but we won't need this for our tutorial, so let's go to Optin campaigns. And as you can see, we already have one here for active campaign, but I'm just going to go ahead and add a new one. And now we need to give it a name. I'll call mine Brevo, and I'll choose the first template. And next we'll be taken to the Optin builder. So on the left, we have our settings. For example, we can go to the design tab, and here we can customize the overall appearance of our Optin using the controls provided and custom CSS. We also have control over the Optin's elements, such as the headline. For example, we can go ahead and hide it using this toggle switch. We also have options here to customize the text, colors, and fonts. And we can also access these settings by clicking on elements in the Optin's preview. So we can click on an input field to open the field's options. And here we have an option to use custom HTML. We can simply add the code to the field provided below. You can also choose to display only a call to action button by toggling this switch. So we can see it right here. If we turn this off, we'll get our input fields back, and you can simply click on one to reveal its settings. And here, for example, we can hide the name, we can customize our title, colors, and fonts. And there's also an option to make the field required. Now, if we move on to the email field, this one is required by default, so we have less options, but it's also customizable. If you want to add your own field, simply click on the Add Custom Field button, and here you can simply fill out the information. So for example, you'd add a title, then you'd move on to change the type, and then you'd be able to go ahead and customize your colors and font. We also have an option here to customize our button. For example, we can edit the label and adjust the colors. So here I'm just going to go ahead and make the button's background red. If you need to, you can always go ahead and change your font and also attach a URL to your button using this field. Now we'll move on to the configuration tab, and here we'll see an option to hide the close button by toggling this switch. And we can also go ahead and add a sound effect. We have a number of different options listed here. You can adjust your cookie durations, and all the way at the bottom, you'll see a toggle switch to remove MailOptin's branding. But if you choose to enable it, you can go ahead and set your affiliate link. Now we can move on to the integrations tab, and here we can choose to keep our leads in MailOptin's lead bank only, or we can go ahead and set up a new integration by clicking here. So in our case, we just want to go ahead and select Brevo from this list, which is right here. And our email list for this will be your first list, which is the default one. Now, we don't want to enable double opt-in, so I'm going to keep that off. And if we add custom fields, we can click on this button to go ahead and map them. So if we take a look in here, we'll see a number of different fields from Brevo, which we can map to our MailOptin fields. So once we're done with our integration, we can go back and move on to the next item, which is after conversion. And this is where we can configure what happens after a lead signs up. You can go through these options to set it up if you need to. You can also configure an autoresponder to send a message to your leads after they sign up. So we're going to move on to our final tab, which is display rules. And this is where we can configure our targeting options and set a trigger for our opt-in. So for this example, let's use the after X seconds rule, and we'll show our opt-in after about 3 seconds. So I'll use this slider to select it, and I'll activate the rule. So now that this trigger is set, we can go back and save our changes by clicking on this button. We'll turn the opt-in on as well. And now we can go back and visit our site to test it out. So based on our rule, our opt-in will show after 3 seconds. Once it's on the page, I'll just enter some random information in the form. I'll subscribe, and we should see our success message. Okay, so now we can go ahead and see if our lead information was transferred to Brevo. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and switch to the Brevo tab. And there I will click on contacts, and we'll see the information that we just entered in our opt-in. All right, so this was basically the process of integrating Brevo with MailOptin. And this integration is not limited to opt-ins. You can actually go ahead and connect Brevo to custom email automations. So for example, if I go ahead and close this tab, and I'll go back to WordPress, and in the sidebar, I'll click on emails. Then at the top, we'll click on Add New. Then Email Automation. I'll call this one Emails. And for the type, we can either choose a new post notification automation, which basically sends an email to your subscribers whenever a post is published, or a post email digest, which is basically an email with a roundup of your latest posts. So let's quickly preview the new post notification one. So I'll choose the default template and we'll be taken to our email builder. So we have a preview of the email on the right hand side and the settings are on the left. So you can actually go through these settings on your own, but this is where you'd actually connect your favorite email marketing software. It's under recipient. So go ahead and watch the videos in the description. Thanks for watching and see you next time.